In today's video, we're going to be talking about how pros get zero delay in Fortnite. As you can see on screen right here, I've done a video on this about a year ago. Now, these are my most viewed videos because these are the videos that are the highest requested. With Fortnite's consistency of updates and constantly changing the game, there's always going to be delay problems. So we're going to do a quick update because it has been a year. Now, everything we cover in this video has been covered before, but a lot of it has changed and there's a few new settings. So make sure you stay tuned to every setting because like I say always, every setting helps a little bit, right? But all of them together helps a lot. So make sure you watch every single setting and let's get right into the video. Now, obviously, when you start things off, we're in Fortnite. Now, one of the biggest things you can change in here is going to be your Fortnite settings. This is the second to third most biggest thing you change. Make sure all your Fortnite settings are exactly like mine. Now, it is different for the windowed mode. Some people play windowed full screen, some people play full screen and they see an FPS difference. That is up to you to test. Now, playing windowed full screen doesn't automatically mean you're going to be on higher delay. That is not exactly what that means because it could feel better for you. So make sure you test them. That's why you see a variety of pros on windowed full screen or full screen. There's no perfect answer. Now, resolution is 1920 by 1080. Now, if you do play a stretch res, then put it on whatever stretch res is. Now, 240 FPS. You want this capped 1 above your monitor's refresh rate. 2, make sure you don't get any screen tearing problems. Other than that, colorblind mode is completely up to you. And then every single graphical setting on low, doesn't matter the FPS you have or the PC you have. Every setting on low. 3D resolution, we're going to go ahead and cap out. But if you'd like to have a better performance, 80% to 90% is definitely the way to go, but it will bring your game quality down a little bit, but don't go any lower than 80% or your game's gonna look like you're playing on your grandma's laptop. Next, we're actually gonna go over here. This is a pretty obvious one, but make sure you're playing on the right region. I don't know why I feel the need to say this, but I know some people will play on regions. If you're new to the game, not know what region you're gonna play. That's a completely irrelevant thing I just mentioned there, but you'll be surprised there are people out there that play on the wrong region. But in this tab, scroll all the way down, there's something called energy saving. You want all these settings on low. This was not a thing in my last videos, the ones that I posted a year ago. This was not a thing. So here's one of the new ones, energy saving all the way off. Now, another thing you want to do is in here, report performance stats. You want this disabled. I saved this one for last because this is also a new one. And what this does, it's constantly sending stuff to Epic Games, meaning it's going to cause delay problems. Having this enabled is not the way to go. Keep it disabled and then click apply. After you've done all these Fortnite settings, you can close the game if you'd like, or you could just click your Windows key. Once you click your Windows key, as you can see here, this will pop up. Right click it, go to taskbar settings, and in here, which is where we'll start for today, task view and widgets need to be off. This is where the Windows settings part is going to come in. Make sure that's off. Scroll down, go to notifications. You want notifications off as well, because every notification you get is a pop-up on your screen, and pop-ups cause bad FPS, so you don't need it. Just like widgets, if you have widgets on, I mean, look at all this. Let it load. It's a lot. I mean, you don't want all this on your screen or constantly being rendered or running in the background. So widgets needs to be off. Next, we're gonna go down to gaming. We're gonna go to game bar. Go ahead and turn this setting off here. Go back. Go to game mode. Game mode, optimize your PC by turning off things in the background. Now, this is a setting I do not recommend because we're going to have everything turned off manually, and this is just another thing trying to work on your PC. So I recommend having this off because we're going to cover everything that needs to be off in the background anyways. Go from here, click graphics. Then in graphics, you'll see Fortnite. You want Fortnite set to high performance. Just click options, high performance. Now, this will use your GPU. Now, a lot of you guys may be thinking, well, Fortnite doesn't run off the GPU, and you are 100% correct. Kind of. Now, Fortnite does run off the GPU a little bit, right? A little bit, but it is more CPU and RAM based game, meaning your CPU is what gives you your FPS just like your RAM, which we'll get more into RAM here in a little bit. Now, once you set this to high performance, go ahead and click save. We'll talk more about the GPU once we get to the NVIDIA settings as well. Next, scroll up, change up here, hardware accelerated GPU scheduling. Reduce latency and improve performance. You'll need to restart your PC to have your changes take effect. If you ever see the word latency, this is just a fancy word for delay. It reduces delay and improves performance. You'll need to restart your PC to have these changes take effect. But you gotta understand hardware accelerated GPU scheduling can cause FPS problems on GPU based games. Lucky for us, this is a Fortnite video, so having this on is only gonna improve your gameplay, so have it on. Optimized for windowed games, I don't see why you'd have this off. If you play windowed full screen, it increases the amount of delay you don't have. I just worded that horribly. It reduces the amount of delay. As you can see, reduce latency right here. That's all you need to see. Turn this on for windowed games. Now, if you're playing on windowed full screen, there you go. Helps out a little bit with that little bit of input delay you will feel. If you do feel it, that is. Now, on the topic of things open in the background, we're going to go ahead and go to startup. Now, in here, you should only have on what you need. Opera GX, we don't need on. SteelSeries, we need on. Mouse control, we need. And there's a VPN, we do not need on. Therefore, we only have these three things that we 100% need. Now, X mouse button control is another thing we'll talk about. This is for my keyboard and mouse users, but we'll talk about this here in a little bit because this is also a new setting that has not been mentioned from the videos a year ago. Next, we're going to go ahead and go out of this, and we're going to go back into apps. You can just click English. You can just click apps right up at the top, and you're good to go, right? And then from apps, go to default app. Yo, what am I doing right now? Not default apps. Installed apps. Jeez, sorry, I'm off like no hours of sleep. Give me time. And then in here, you're gonna go ahead and uninstall anything you don't need. Now, if you don't know what it is, do not uninstall it. So if you're scrolling through here and you're like, yup, Notepad. I don't know what this is, but we're gonna go ahead and uninstall it. That's not the play, because you might uninstall something that you need on your PC. So like this, power. I don't know what this is. I'm not gonna uninstall it, right? I only uninstall things I don't need. So like this VPN, for example, if I was to uninstall this VPN, I can uninstall the VPN just to clear up space and minimize the amount of things you could potentially have running in the background. So apps, just make sure you have everything uninstalled that you don't need installed. And another way to look at this a little easier is clicking the thing at the top. Next, go to Bluetooth and devices. Now, if you don't use Bluetooth, you might as well have it off, but I do currently use it because, you know, that's how my mouse is connected. So keep it on if you need it. And speaking of mouse, we're going to go down to mouse, and we're going to scroll all the way down to advanced mouse settings. Then in here, this little pop-up will come up. Go to pointer options and make sure enhanced pointer precision is unchecked. Click apply, and then you let it load, and then click OK. Now, this is completely off topic for input delay, but for the people that have always wondered how they can actually get different pointers, that's where you do that as well. In here, you'll see pointers. You click browse down here, and then you pick the pointer that you actually mess with. So let's do like cross, right? This one, or cross R. Click open, and then click apply, and then give it a second, and then boom, you're now on that cross. Click OK. And then look, your mouse has changed for the people that didn't know how to do that, because I know there's a few people that do want that done. Next, we're going to go to displays, and as you can see, I have two. If you click identify, you can see which is which, as this is the first one. My second one is my second monitor. We're going to go ahead and go down to make sure that these are set up correctly and how they need to be. As you can see, 1920 by 1080, which is what it needs to be. I wouldn't go any higher than 1920 by 1080, but if you want stretch res, go ahead and put it on your stretch res. Go to advanced display, make sure your FPS is set to make sure your hertz is set to the right hertz of your monitor. I have 240, 239.76 is the hertz you need to have. Now, another thing you always want done is making sure your PC is always up to date. That is the last Windows setting, is your PC always being up to date. And you can actually close this, and we're going to go ahead and close Fortnite for this next part. Now, with Fortnite being closed, you can see we are now on the desktop. From the desktop, you're actually going to go to this little search bar and type in ADJ for adjust the appearance of Windows. And the screen's black. Give it a second. I'm sorry for that. Okay, go ahead, click this, and then drag this over. Click advanced. Oh, no, click stay on visual effects, sorry. Custom, uncheck everything except for show thumbnails, smooth edges, on-screen fonts. Click apply once you've done it, and you click OK. And what that does is, as you can see, when I drag this, it's just a box. Right, it helps the input delay because you have all these random things turned off and you're good to go. You click OK. Now, after that, there's one more thing I actually want to talk about, and that is enabling XMP. XMP is probably one of the biggest settings on here, as this is literally the number one setting that is going to give you the most amount of FPS and performance when it comes to Fortnite, is enabling XMP. Now, when you get your PC, as you can see, I'm going to pull up my task manager here. When you get your PC, and you go to, your memory, you're like, okay, bet, you see your RAM speed, but it's not running at the correct speed, it will be halved. That is because you do not have XMP enabled. Now, some PCs come with it enabled, a lot don't, so make sure you check that for sure. Now, once you plug in your RAM, let's say this is half speed, you basically need to go into your BIOS, turn on XMP, and you're good to go. I'm going to go ahead and insert a clip of me loading up onto my BIOS and actually showing you guys how to do that. So in this clip, it's actually me spamming the key to boot into my BIOS, and then eventually I pick up my phone and I show you, boom, we're in my BIOS. And from here, I go straight to XMP and I just turn it on. It's as easy as that. I even show you the differences between the profiles, as there was about 3 I could cycle through and each one had a different speed. Make sure you pick the speed of your RAM. If there's a higher option, don't pick higher options. You want the speed of your exact RAM, and that is that. No lower, no more, your exact RAM. And don't put it on auto, because it's not gonna put you on the highest. As you can see, I'm showing 5200. That is my highest for profile 1. Profile 2 is 48, and then there is auto, which is not what you want. So profile 1 is the move. Now that we have XMP enabled, we're going to talk about what we can do to lower ping. Now, I know a lot of you guys think that pros are only good because they're paying and they got the money to move to different servers, and that is about 80% true. But for the people that don't have money or the time or anything to help you move to Dallas or wherever it is you want to be, there's apps you can use. Now, not every app works for everybody, but today we're going to go ahead and cover Gear Up Booster. Now, I'm sure you've heard of Gear Up Booster. It is a widely known app for many different reasons. A lot of people love it, a lot of people hate it. Me personally, I don't mind the app. I think it works just as good as every other app, but why not try it? If you haven't tried it, you can try it completely for free with the link in the description, and boosting over 2,000 games, all the way up from PlayStation, Xbox, and Switch games, meaning you can boost anything you can think of. Now, on top of that, if you go on here and you go to home and go down to my wallet and you type in the code LZR Gaming, just like that, you will be able to redeem your code. Now, as you can see, you've already redeemed this code. That means I've used it. Now, for the few of y'all that have used the free trial and still want a membership, I'm going to be giving away a few more memberships to a few of you guys that show proof of installation of this app and liking the video, and DM me on Discord. Now, speaking of Discord, that actually puts us in our next topic. We're going to go ahead and open up Discord here. And we're going to go ahead and go to my Discord. Now, in my Discord, I post a lot of things with a fairly active community, as my Twitch streams and all kinds of stuff. But in here, there's one thing: YouTube stuff. Now, YouTube stuff is huge because this not only shows the best settings for a few things we're going to talk about, it has tweak packs, power plans, but this has the biggest thing in today's video other than XMP, and that would be this tweak command. This tweak command has been around for a very long time, so you've probably heard of it, you've probably seen it, and today we're going to go ahead and talk about this because this is what was talked about in the last one, but in the last video, sorry, a year ago, but they've updated it quite a bit. Now let this load, and you're automatically, if you're coming from that video, you're going to see a lot has changed. Now we're going to go ahead and make sure all of this is set right, and we're good to go. And then you want to click standard. Now from standard, you can go ahead and run tweaks because, well, that is the standard tweaks. That is the default. That is what most people will run. And before you're like, okay, well, this messed up my PC, it automatically creates a restore point for you. So if you're worried about it, you can go right back to where you were. But as long as you copy the exact settings I did here, you are good to go. Then you go ahead and click run tweaks. We're going to do it for the video. We've done this multiple times, so it's really not going to do much for me. But just so you guys see that it is legit, here it is running in the background. Now, give it time, as it will take a little bit. It creates the restore point, which is 47% complete, and then it runs every single tweak. Now, if you are doing this in the background, I recommend just minimizing it and moving on to the next settings. So that's what we're going to go ahead and do. You'll see it when it's finished. So we're going to go ahead and close that, drag that down. We don't need it right now. And next, we're going to talk about one of the biggest things that a lot of people still don't know about, and that is filter keys. Now, filter keys is something I currently use, and it is a pretty big thing. Now, when you install filter keys, you're going to install the download. And then from your download, go to downloads, and then look up. Okay, for some reason my filter keys isn't opening, but we can just open it here. Anyways, here's my filter keys. We had to search it in the thingy. So here we are. And also here are the best settings. Now a lot of people's like, what is filter keys? Basically it's a macro. I know that sounds crazy and you're thinking macro, you're thinking I'ma get banned. Well no, because it's not a macro at the same time that it is a macro, if that makes sense. Basically what a filter keys does is while you're typing, every once in a while it'll spam, it'll repeat a key, which is very, very important for when it comes to editing. So let's say you edit with E and you're spamming E, right? Double edit, double edit, double edit, and it repeats that key to make your edits even faster than they were before. And that's how filter keys works with these exact settings right here. And once you've done these settings, make sure you copy this exactly how it is, click save to registry, apply, and okay. And you don't need to keep that open in the background. Unlike not keeping that open in the background, there is one thing that we're going to talk about that you do need open in the background, and that is going to be X mouse. Now this is also a very new setting for, you know, for you guys that are coming from the other videos, but here you are. This is also somewhat like a macro, but it's not. Basically, your keyboard has the option, if you have like a SteelSeries or anything like that, to put it at 1 ms response time, but your mouse does not. So now your mouse does, making your mouse clicks even faster for even faster edits and smoother aim, and just everything's just better here. So definitely do this. The install to this is actually in my Discord as well, and it's really, really easy to do. And as well as it being in my Discord, we have a video for anyone that needs a tutorial for X mouse. We have a video right here on how to install it all and the best settings. And also here are the best settings for filter keys. Now we're going to scroll up. We're also going to copy this power plan because the power plan can affect your FPS a little bit. Let's go to copy this, click this, terminal admin, click yes, paste it in here. And yes, you can still do this with the tweaks running in the background. As you can see, it is done. Tweaks are finished. Close, just like that. The power plan has been added as well, and we're still doing a disk cleanup, so there is a lot going on. Now we're gonna go to power plan options, and as you can see, there's auto performance, a bunch of these for every video I've done. You want on all performance, not for exit lag. If you use exit lag, sure, but I don't use exit lag, so that shouldn't even be an option on my PC. We're gonna do ultimate performance, and you are good to go. Then you close that. Now, this is something I also haven't talked about, but for the people with an extremely low-end PC, there's a web browser for you. Now, I am not sponsored by Opera GX, and, you know, I've received no revenue from this, but I just want to share this for you guys. There's a CPU limiter on here that you can limit all the way down to the lowest, so use no percent of your CPU while playing Fortnite. A network limiter if you have Wi-Fi problems that limits it all the way down to whatever you want, all the way to 512 kbps, which is not even a gigabyte of your internet speed, which is really, really good. So you can watch Twitch while playing Fortnite with no internet problems whatsoever. And a RAM limiter, so it uses 0 of your RAM while playing Fortnite, which allows you to watch Twitch, watch YouTube, like let's say you're watching a tutorial on how to get better at the game, but your game's running like crap because you're watching the tutorial. Now you can watch the tutorial just fine with Opera GX and everything set to its limiter. I recommend doing a hard limit as this lowers it really, really low. Turn on the network limiter, put it on 80 Mbps, and then CPU limiter, go ahead and turn on all the way down, and it doesn't even slow down, you know, anything here. As you can see, you go up here, you can type in Twitch, go to Twitch, everything is still loading just as fast as it normally would. Now, if you'd like to also install Opera GX, the link to Opera GX will be in the description, but no, like I said before, unfortunately not sponsored. Now, that is it for today's video. If you did like the video, make sure you like, subscribe, share it to a friend that needs to change or optimize their PC for better performance, and if this video can hit 200 likes, it would mean so much to me, and you know, that's just all I'm asking for. That and 10,000 subs. We're right around the corner from 10,000 subs, and when we hit 10k, we are giving away a custom keyboard. So make sure you go ahead and subscribe and like up the video, and we'll catch you guys in the next one.